Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Liberty. I'm going to be talking to you about the success factors of small and medium enterprise and internationalization. So the core theory of small and medium enterprise internationalization is that typically larger enterprises have been the companies that have been able to do international business, and small and medium enterprises are left doing domestic business. However, in this new era with globalization and the communication abilities, transportation, and technology, smaller companies have become able to reach worldwide markets with success, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So the main problem to be solved here is how can my company reach global markets, and what is the best approach for me and my company to accomplish my goals. The reason this research is so vital to company success is because globalization has turned businesses worldwide. And if you have no strategy or plan to go global, then you're just going to get left behind. And small enterprise companies or medium enterprise companies are going to be able to catch up to larger companies, and you're just going to get left behind. So the justification for this is there is abundance of technology and data that can help grow your company internationally. But you have to choose the best strategy for your company to make that decision. And there is a good amount of strategies that I'll touch on, and maybe we can find the best one for you and your company. So the research, the research that I did to find out how successful these companies can be was I researched all the internationally successful SME companies in one area and made a network model to show and interpret the relationship among the different variables to see how they became successful, what strategies they implemented, the timing, all the different variables that it takes to become successful. I looked at that and then made a model to show all the important parts. Then I made a list of KPIs to list the benefits and problems that can go wrong in terms of capacity building, policy development, implementation, building cluster, strategic networking, and innovation development. These are all different variables that will be looked at and taken into account when trying to grow your company internationally. Another thing I did was evaluate sales, profits, growth, market shares, and risks. And the success of each research SME seemed to properly utilize each of these variables listed above. And another thing I noticed was that the timing of jumping into the international market seemed to be right for them. So here I get into a few more, or all of the internationalization approaches that your company can use. And at the bottom here, I listed a link that goes into a little greater detail on all of them. So some of these are the stage-based approach, network theory, concept of international entrepreneurship, network, alliance and clusters, capacity building, policy, innovations, benefits and barriers, timing of internationalization, modes of internationalization, destinations of internationalization, and operational decisions of internationalization. So this website's really useful. You can just go ahead and click, and it'll give you a pretty good description on each, and you'll be able to see which one works for your company and how you can be successful. So after the research that I did, some analysis, the analysis and recommendations that I have for you are that each enterprise may use a different approach to reach international markets or make sure of a good amount. A lot of companies will end up using a bunch. It really just depends on how you guys plan to operate and how you guys plan to expand. However, there were two things that I found were paramount into initially venturing into international markets. So getting there is more important. And those two things were choosing the correct strategy for your company. And again, like I said earlier, selecting the optimal timing to jump into international business. These two things are huge and crucial for your start in international markets. It's going to be a lot different than domestic market where you have some pull. This is a brand new venture. And if you can land these two things, you're going to be in pretty good shape. Some Christian principles that I've found to go along with this. So choosing when to internationalize can be stressful for sure, and undoubtedly there's going to be moments of regret, and you're not sure if you picked the right strategy or you're making the right move or when you're going to go. Um, but praying and trusting that God's timing is perfect will alleviate most of the stress. Not going to say all because you'll still feel stressed, but just knowing that His timing is right, you'll be able to feel some freedom in pursuing this next step internationally and feel confident about taking it. So Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." And Proverbs 16:9 says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." So as I mentioned, just trust in the Lord. He has a plan for you, and He knows when your company will succeed, and you just got to put your trust in Him, knowing that His timing is right for you. Lastly, talk about the area of application, who this applies to. Honestly, personally, I think that this applies to all companies, and all companies should pay attention to the ever-changing strategies on how to grow your market or how to grow your company internationally. But it's paramount for SMEs who are currently only in domestic markets trying to grow internationally and trying to get into those new markets. Um, it would greatly benefit those type of companies, but again, it would benefit everybody, honestly. Um, and for those companies, you got to choose the right strategies and the right time to do it. And if you can land those two things, good chances are you're going to be successful. So that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed my presentation.